And welcome back to part 4 of What If Midoriya had a Zanpakuto, the Kyoka Suigestu edition. Last time we had the UA Sports Festival come and go with Shoto being the winner, and Shoto not getting his we'll call the character arc, I guess, get his growth a little bit, his realization moment, courtesy of Midoriya's just not being in the same headspace he was in the original, not being able to challenge him in a way where he'd be able to do that. With any Zanpakuto that has a more offensive capability than Kyoka Suigestu, that would probably work more effectively, and he'd probably still be able to push Shoto to that, but that didn't happen here. Still, we move forward with and again, I believe it was a work study, not an internship. The internship happens later. The work study. And the big question of who would be interested in Midoriya. Now, I had asked you guys who you think could be interested in Midoriya to take under their wing for a little bit of a minor apprenticeship. And with the options that were given, I heard someone say Principal Nezu. Principal Nezu isn't actually a hero from what I know. At least I don't believe Principal Nezu is a hero. Hold on, that's a legit question. I'm going to check that right now if he's actually a hero or if he just works there. We know he has a quirk. He's an animal with a quirk, which gives him above average human intelligence. But whether or not Nezu is a hero, I don't know. Principal quirk, high specs, which grants him superhuman intelligence, super perception, comprehension far beyond that of humans. No, it does not look like Nezu himself is a hero. He just runs UA. Yeah, he's not a hero. That being said, he doesn't need to be a hero. He can still have a quirk and not be a hero. But the one I actually saw suggested that was on my mind when I initially brought it up. I'm like, I want to hear other people's thoughts. Edgeshot. I do like Edgeshot, because not only is his quirk really good, I can't remember the name of it, but I mean, I could look it up. It wouldn't take more than a minute. Hold on. I looked up Edgeshot so I could get the image. You'd think I could look up the name of the quirk. Edgeshot. Hold on. What's the name of his quirk? Is it something malleable or Edgeshot? What is his quirk's name? Anyway, it allows him to basically kind of be Mr. Fantastic. Foldability. That's what foldability. That's what his quirk is called. It allows him to make his body extremely thin and long, and effectively allows him to transform himself into a razor-sharp string and transform faster than the speed of sound. He can use his quirk to move around quickly, slip through tight spaces, pierce targets by folding into sharp. Wow, where did that go? What was the thing I was reading? Allows him to into sharp shapes. When his body is stretched too thin, it gradually affects his lifespan to the point which it actually slowly starts to fade away. But essentially, it's a very versatile quirk, and he's a ninja. That's the thing about Edgeshot I really like. That was the wrong thing I was trying to enlarge. He's a ninja. That's the thing I think I like most about him for Midoriya, is that Midoriya's illusion capabilities would strike Edgeshot's interest. Also, that Midoriya seems to be able to keep a cool, collected head would work well with his teachings. So eventually, when Midoriya and everyone else choose their hero names or waiting to see who was interested in taking them under their leadership or apprenticeship, Midoriya does note that they do know that, or he notes that, oh, Edgeshot, wow, Edgeshot, because as far as I know, no one took Edgeshot. Edgeshot didn't take anyone under his tutelage that I remember. Maybe. And maybe they did, I just don't remember. So when Midoriya goes to meet Edgeshot, he's got his blade on him, which he's allowed to carry now. And Edgeshot's probably hiding in there. And Midoriya's like, hello, Mr. Edgeshot? And then all of a sudden, Midoriya actually grows just like a little bit more, not colder, but more serious. Like, this is a test, isn't it? He's just kind of like looking around a little bit. Shatter, Kyoka Suigestu. and so, he just slowly draws it. And all of a sudden, Edgeshot comes out of nowhere. Midoriya disappears. Aha! It's like, well done, Midoriya. This is your first test coming in here. I want to see exactly what you're capable of doing. Are you sure about that, Edgeshot? This seems a bit extreme, but if you're sure, very well done. Let's see what you've got. I can assume I'm already under the effects of your quirk. Quirk, is that all right? That's why you drew your sword and whispered something. You released the ability of your quirk. Well, I guess there's no getting past you. And Midoriya comes in. Now, the one thing Midoriya really hasn't been doing is actually learning swordsmanship. Like, he probably studied, like, some basic forms. Like, but he's not actually a swordsman at this point because he's been focusing more on using the ability of his quirk and the sword than actually using the sword itself. I mean, Kyoka Suigestu comments like, I told you should have been learning. It's like, not now. It's like, and he just, this really, well, I must admit, there's some potential here, but this really, it just kind of wraps around the blade, really is not what I was hoping for. It's like, well, I'll try not to disappoint you then. And all of a sudden he pulls out like a shuriken. I'm sure you won't. And Midoriya's like, and then Midoriya in front of him disappears, and Midoriya's like, but it's like, yeah, your quirk is amazing. Controlling all 5 senses, is that right? Well, you can't control my 6th or 7th sense. I was like, wait, what? Because that is actually, people talk about having a 6th sense, and believe it or not, you do have extra sensory perception abilities beyond your main 5 senses. We've never really been able to pinpoint a lot of that down, but some of the things are like having this unease around psychopaths. That's a weird comparison, but it's literally, that is a biological sense that you have. Some people have that feel uneasy around psychopaths. The ability to sense danger can revolve around your 5 senses, but it's actually more just instinctual than anything else. So, and a trained fighter on instinct can react to things and sense danger, just like the sensing of, of aggression or whatever. So because he's a trained ninja and been doing this for a long time, using extra sensors, he was still able to pinpoint Midoriya, at least in this case. Midoriya needs time to grow. And so it's like, yeah, I must admit though, I must admit, Midoriya, you are quite skilled indeed. Indeed, I wasn't aware that when I saw you move, I wasn't aware that wasn't you. Well, I guess I still got a lot to learn. Under my tutelage there for this, however long it actually was. Do we ever know how long it was? Like a week or something like that? We're going to, it's like, we're going to try to push you a little bit and see exactly what you're capable of doing. Also, I'm going to try to, and he can probably turn his arm into some sort of sword-like feature. Also, we're going to brush you up on your swordsmanship skills, because that needs work, kid. And so that's what they spend a lot of time doing. He works with Midoriya on meditation. In calming his mind, which Midoriya actually really benefits for. He shows like applications. If he's controlling all 5 senses, he literally can make it feel like there's an opponent there when there really isn't. He can manipulate smells, obviously sight, sounds, all of that. And Midoriya explains some of the things he's done, including making people think that their friends were their enemies. It's like, it's impressive. And so we're going to go and take a night on the town and basically apply this in the field. And so they go to where the whole stain incident is happening. Like I said, as long as Midoriya is in the city, and a lot of people have agreed with me with this, he should be able to rescue Ida if he gets the chance. Otherwise, it's not in a good way. But still, they probably clean up the streets dealing with like some major punks or something like that. Midoriya just tricks them, like, very well done, Midoriya. It's like, what's this? I'm sorry, just one of my classmates. Ida? Wait, what's he doing here? I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Or was it Ida? Or I don't remember exactly. The hero killer. Like they had heard that the hero killer is there, and I can't remember how Midoriya found him initially. I have it literally on the shelf over there somewhere. But I remember he was just searching alleys, and he had this bad feeling. And again, thanks to Edgeshot, he's got a bad gut feeling. And Edgeshot maybe has to deal with another criminal. Like, Midoriya, where are you going? I just have to go. And Midoriya is running, and unfortunately, he doesn't have super speed here, so it's possible he could end up not making it in time. But let's just, for the sake of argument, say he was close enough to get there in time. And so when Stain is about to stab him, Ida, all of a sudden he brings his blade up and just let's back off right now. Midoriya, what are you doing here? There's a lot I want to. It's like, get out! This has nothing to do with you, Midoriya. There's a lot I want to say to you right now, but for now we're gonna table that. It's like, you should go right. You should leave, kid, right now. Shatter, Kyoka Suigestu. What kind of hero would I be if I just left someone? How did he put it? If I just left someone when they needed my help, and that's how Super stands like, and then Mopsy Midoriya, an illusion. And all of a sudden, more Midoriya's appears. Like, you can take one of us on, one of me on, but can you take all of us on? And remember, because his senses are manipulated, it does, for at least to him, feel like he's actually fighting Midoriya. Like, no, these are really here, but feels like he gets that. Wait, no. No, that's actually a really good question. Because you control the sense of touch, can you, through that control, actually injure someone physically? It would feel like it. But there's actually no physical damage. That is the one other catch to Kyoka Suigestu, is that it is all sensory control, but it's not physical. You couldn't outright kill someone, at least making them think they got stabbed through the heart. Although the shock of it may make them think they are stabbed through the heart. But in Bleach, people can survive a stab through the chest and keep going, no problem. Some of the durability feats in Bleach get to the ridiculous. That being said, if you're talking about just sensory overload and just kind of blowing their brains out, in that sense, yeah, you can do that. But that's only if Midoriya actually wanted to kill someone, which he does not. But he's like, wait, something's wrong. It felt I could feel the blade cut me, but there's no damage. And he just kicks it. And then Midoriya keeps coming. No, none of these these aren't real. They're just doppelgangers, which means. And Midoriya, meanwhile, is like helping Ida get up. He's kind of masking them. And he sees Ida. And it's the one thing Midoriya is not focusing on. He's like, yeah, he's hid them, but he forgot that Ida's no longer there. They're gone? No, that's not it. And then he can see the little bit of blood dropping from like Ida, who got injured. And he just throws a knife. And Midoriya's like, cute. Cute kid. You're making me think there's multiple of you when the real one of you is right there. Midoriya just sorry. Well, can't blame a guy for trying, can you? You're gonna have to do better than all of a sudden bright flash of light. It's like, again. As dangerous as Aizen is, when you actually think about like what some Zanpakuto do for like their effects, a flash of light for Kenpika, darkness for Tozen, think about this for a second. Except for the sensing spiritual pressure part, Aizen's Shikai can completely and utterly imitate Tozen's Bankai. It can rob you of the ability to hear because he's controlling your senses of hearing. He can just make you deaf, mute, well, not mute, but deaf, blind. He can do all of that because he can control your senses. He can make you see complete darkness. He can just make it so you're not hearing anything if he really wants to. That is how busted this sword is. And so Midoriya, and I think that would be Midoriya says like, I can't beat him outright. And he's just like how Edgeshot taught me. He's not fighting with his senses. He's fighting on pure instinct. I can't counter that, but I can do something else. And Midoriya maybe just snaps his fingers, snaps like has his sword in his hand. Just what did you do? I can't see. And now keep in mind, he's just controlling the world around him at this point. Just and it just is like, here's him. I got you again. And he tries to stab at Midoriya, but he just stabs the wall. And say, I'm sorry, Stain, but I can't let you hurt my friends anymore. It's like, where are you? Where are you? It just starts freaking out. At that point, finally, Ida is, back up. They get, what was it? Native was his. Well, by the way, what was his quirk? Native. I believe that was the hero that was with them. Native, right? My Hero Academia. I might be getting the name wrong. It was like something like that. Either way, though, basically Shoto gets there, and eventually the pro heroes get there, including Edgeshot, and they just see that Stain is now also just mute or deaf as well. Just, damn it, where are you? Why can't I swear it was native. Okay, that was his name. What's his quirk? We never see him in action. He gets caught by the hero killer, so and he was basically paralyzed. And Midoriya's just there, just it's like, It's like, what the hell did you do, kid? I couldn't beat him outright in a fight, and he was like you, Edge. I was fighting on instinct. My illusions were going to work, at least not the standard kind. So I decided to get creative. What's going on right now? I can't see or hear anything. I swear to God, I'm going to find you when I do. I'm gonna. Then finally, just Edgeshot, boom, knocks him out. It's like, we got him. Not bad, kid. Not bad at all. I can see why you're. You might not be Shoto's level, but I can definitely see why you were in the finals to begin with. But wait, you're telling me you couldn't see, if you made it so he couldn't see or hear anything? Why didn't you do that against Shoto in your fight? Well, I didn't really think of it at the time. It was Edgeshot's training that really kind of opened my eye to more possibilities. Oh, not bad. And so, yeah. By the way, we do not know what Native's quirk is. We never get to see it. He does show up in the paramilitary, paranormal liberation war arc. But unfortunately, he was apparently included in the casualties when the Nomu attacked. So he died before we ever got to actually see his quirk. But regardless, they say they still get a bit of an earful from like the chief, like, you shouldn't be fighting. You're not actually heroes. But I think we can make an exception this one time. You were able to actually help bring the hero killer in. It's like, sorry, Midoriya, Shoto, I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine. Keep in mind too, Shoto showed up at that point. And honestly, Midoriya could even make it worse. He could have made him. I'm sorry, I'm just pointing it out. He could have made him gone blind, then just like a freaking fire alarm going in your ear the whole time, or just ultrasonic frequencies just giving you fritz like a dog, just like ah. So seriously, he literally could have just knocked his ass out, and he kind of almost did if it wasn't for like the sheer iron will of Stain. And so, like, word gets around that Midoriya single-handedly put down the hero killer. It's like, what? And even All Might hears this, like, young Midoriya was able to take down the hero killer's Stain? Amazing. To think this boy could have that much potential. Are you having any regrets, Sensei? It's like, I want to see what else young Midoriya has in store before I make my final choice, Night-Eye. I don't agree with it. But I'll respect it. Because at this point, again, All Might would have probably given his quirk to Mirio, and he's probably been in contact with Night-Eye at this point. Even though it's hard for him to do so. Still, with Midoriya really kind of excelling here. Yeah. And Shigaraki also, this is like, this kid. And so, the final exam comes, and Bakugo and Midoriya have to work together. And Midoriya's like trying to think of, I don't have All Might currently under Kyoka Suigestu, but I'm going to need him to. We're going to need him to see my sword in order to get him under the full squad. Like, I don't need your help. But look, we're working together. We're working together on this, Bakugo, whether you like it or not. It's like, I can pass on my own. I don't need a loser like you. It's like, this is why we can never work together, and just almost smash Midoriya. But Midoriya now has been training with Edgeshot, so he's got some better reflexes. So he does ducks. He actually puts his hand on his sword on a reflex. Like, what the hell is your brother? I don't need a loser like you. And it's like, well then, it looks like, having a lover's quarrel, are we? Shut it! And all of a sudden, it's like, no, and then just grabs Midoriya's arms. It's like, no, I can't let you be releasing that, drawing that sword now, young Midoriya. It's like, yeah, and you, Bakugo, so full of fiery passion as always. That's the spirit. And just starts beating the hell out of Bakugo. Midoriya's like, come on. Then his sword is right there. He's finally able to slip out, and brings and it's like, whoa! Didn't your mother tell you not to run with sharp objects, Midoriya? And just grabs the blade. He's about to snap it, and it's like, and didn't you tell me you shouldn't look at my blade? It's like, shatter Kyoka Suigestu. Damn it! It's like, whoop! It's like, ha! But it's like, even if you do have me under your illusions, Midoriya, and it's like all of a sudden the light's like, you robbed me of my sight and my ability to hear, Midoriya. I heard you use this against the hero killer. Impressive. And even my sense of touch seems off. However, and all of a sudden he just starts squeezing the blade, and Midoriya's like, I'm still aware I'm holding your blade. So that means you're still right here. And Midoriya's and immediately it snaps and like reduces like, even though technically he's controlling illusions, if Midoriya's probably not focused on it, because he also doesn't want to keep All Might under the illusion. He doesn't hate All Might or anything like that. And man, like it like snaps and back. Like, I must admit though, that was a little unpleasant to say the least. And now then, you tries to blast All Might. It's like, wow, it's like I don't need it. And Bakugo tries. I don't need any of them. I'd rather lose it except help from him. It's like, well then, as long as you have no regrets. And then Midoriya just comes in, just basically like what looks to be like a trash can or a rock or something ahead. Like he's somehow threw the gate out. He threw it. It's like throwing the gate, huh? It's like, whoop, nope, sorry. It's like, huh? No, of course, it's an illusion. And then Midoriya just comes in and just and all my actions. I was like, his muscles are so thick. I was like, he actually cut me. And I think he had the nerve. He actually had the nerve to do something like that. But you could have killed me. No, your muscles are thick enough. I don't have the physical strength to cut straight through you, All Might. And all of a sudden, All Might. What I do have though is the wits to keep you at bay. And all of a sudden, there's too many Midoriyas and Bakugos. What could they be? No, God, are you? And it doesn't look like he's trying to control trying to blind me again. So, where could you have gone? And so Midoriya said, we can't beat him on our own, Bakugo. Look, I know you hate this, but we have to do it. Otherwise we're gonna fail. Like, shut up! I hate this. I'm not gonna say it once. And so, as I said this once, I hate you. I hate everything that you do. So let's just get this over with. And so, Midoriya and him come out again, and Bakugo gets caught, not even as a distraction. And then there's Midoriya. Best you've got. It's like, do you think I didn't see that coming? And then all of a sudden it's revealed to be Bakugo. It's like, what? And then this Midoriya again. Boom! Basically hits him point blank again. They're running. All Might comes, nearly breaks Midoriya's back. And then Bakugo tries, stalls. And then he's, no, just get out of here. It's like, no. Yeah, and Midoriya's looking on at his friend for what it's worth. Gets back up. And all of a sudden, All Might's no, and all of a sudden it just gets higher pitched and higher. But it's like this chattering, buzzing, screeching. The sound! It's like, Midoriya, you? It's like, damn, that's right. And it just feels Midoriya. Like, you're not getting up. And then he just kind of blinds him again temporarily. Now that I've actually brought up the whole blinding thing, Midoriya can just be so busted with this now. Just be like, sensory deprivation, and then blow someone's eardrums out anytime he wants. But they get out of there. They pass, and he releases it from All Might. I must admit, the boy's got promise indeed. And so that ends. They're celebrating going to the mall. Obviously, Shigaraki's like, "Hey, you're the kid from the sports festival, the one with all the illusions. I remember watching that." It's like, "Oh, well, thanks." We haven't seen each other a little bit, have we? And it's like, "Don't I put a finger on your throat, and you'll be gone before they're even able to reach you." So why don't we get some tea? And unfortunately, Midoriya's kind of shit out of luck here. Shigaraki is still under the effects of Kyoka Suigestu. He's aware of this. It's like you. It's like, yeah, that's right. If the little I've heard about you, even now, I'm still under the effects of your quirk, aren't I? Unless, of course, you choose to release it. Isn't that right? And to which Midoriya says, sorry, can't do that. It's like, and like his finger twitches a little bit. I can't do that because when I used it when I had my sword. You have the full effect on you. I would need my sword on me in order to unrelease it. So unfortunately for now, you're still under the effects. Interesting. Tell me, could you use your quirk without your sword? It's only about half as strong. Even right now, I could make it look like you're not holding me anymore. But unfortunately, you probably wouldn't be able to. You'd probably be aware of the fact you're still holding me. And it's like, good point. Of course, if you tried it anyway, I'd want to test the theory by just tapping that finger against your throat. And so they talk about the hero killer, conviction, all that. And eventually we get into the training arc, going into the camp. And we'll leave it there for right now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you for the next one. Tomorrow we'll have What If Naruto part, I think we're on 8 now? 8 or 9, one of the two. It's going to be a long Naruto one. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.